was tough.
And it was tragic.
It was tragic. He was murdered, stabbed to death.
That was tough.
Wow.
But she carried that same strength that you're carrying right now before you get to the healing process. And I've watched her do this with that situation and many situations. Just that something about being a Black girl growing up in the hood, there's an armor that you just always seem to hold on to. So can you think of a moment where you knew that you were in love?
This is my first love. This is my first love. Like, this is my first real boyfriend. Like,
what was it about him?
It was like more like a soulmate. Like it's like, dang, I met you before. Like, how do I feel so connected to you? It was just something about him though. Like something about him. Like when Von would cry. Yes, he was really emotional. Nobody knows.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's okay though. Vulnerability, strength is in being vulnerable. That's a beautiful thing.
When I cried and he cried, it was just crazy. And I'm like, dang, I probably would never ever experience a boy like him. Like, he was like one of a kind.
So let's start at the moment you found out he passed away.
I got a call from his cousin, and I was just shocked. But you know how you heard something, you like, nah, he gonna pull through, he all right. Because it was critical condition at first. I'm like, okay, he's alive, he's okay. Right. Actually, when he had passed away, when they were saying he was in critical condition, he had already passed away. Somebody from the hospital got in contact with me. One of the nurse's daughters, and she just was crying on the phone. She was crying. She was like, Agent, I'm so sorry. I'm like, nah. I'm like, you tripping. He's not. She's like, no, my grandmother's works at the hospital. He passed away. They put an X on his bag.
Oh, no.
Then I just hung the phone up. I'm like, nah, she's tripping. I had already knew. So once they said that he was dead on social media, I had already knew it. It was just...
Right. You had to just take it in.
Yeah.
To get that call, like, how did you feel in your
My whole world just crashed. Yeah. I've never felt a feeling like that. It's like I was just broken.
Yeah.
I want to say like 6 days before he passed away, we had broken up, and I was real hard on him. I was not trying to see him. I did not want to see him at all.
You know how we do.
It's okay, baby. You got to let that happen, okay? You can't, let me tell you something, sweetheart. It is okay to feel. You love that man, and he died suddenly. He was taken in a senseless murder.
Yes.
You know, that's not something you just push through and try to cope with.
Yeah, especially, I would never think that. I'm like, nah, it's impossible for Von to ever, you know, like, to go out how he did. I just never would think, like, ever. Like,
this past year, a lot of people have lost loved ones to COVID, sudden death. So anybody that's watching, how would you tell them? How did you get through? How are you getting through or coping?
It's crazy because I watched Von's grandmother pass from COVID. And he was so hurt because it just happened out of nowhere. And just seeing how strong, he overworked himself. He was so strong. Like, he cried about it, and he just moved on. He didn't want to talk about it. And just seeing him, how strong he was, it just made me strong.
On social media, you've been posting a lot of videos of you two together, and I think they're just so beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Let's take a look. Let's just take a look. It's so sweet.
Oh my God, it makes me blush so much.
Oh, that's so sweet. Do seeing these videos remind you of the good times?
Yes, I watch them all day. I watch it like TV. And I just love sharing stories, just so people can know that he was like a great person with a big heart. And he loved to love.
And you were talking about this scrutiny that happens on social media once you put yourself out there. And you went through a lot of scrutiny when you were playing the videos and publicly mourning.
Yeah.
Help us to understand what that was for you. Like,
I was mad at everybody. Just being a Black woman, just realistically. Even when we go through stuff like this, it's like we always have to defend ourselves. Even if something happens to us and you know it happened, we still got to defend ourselves. Just like, even, how does it come down to me having to defend myself over my ex-boyfriend?
Are you grieving? Because you're grieving.
right.
Yeah.
And it became that.
I believe that you lost your
Stepfather.
Yeah. And that your mom is also sick. Yeah. How are you dealing with that?
My stepfather, that's my dog. And he actually died like last week. He passed away from a heart attack.
Another sudden.
Another sudden
out of
death.
nowhere.
Okay, so Von's sudden death. And your stepfather's sudden death. How are you dealing? How is this affecting your mental health?
Just I feel like a lot of people who went through this is getting me through this. I didn't know how to feel. I've never lost somebody that was so close to me that I love, that I was in love with.
Yeah.
And just knowing that there's so many women that went through this, that's the reason why I'm still here, because I want to get through this. I pray a lot.